Welcome to Alien Invasion Gaming. My name is Roy, and in this video we'll take a look at the changes to the traders in Escape from Tarkov. Let's get started. Before we take a look at the new trader changes in Escape from Tarkov, a note that I now stream on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/alieninvasiongaming. I'm also on Twitter at regular10, and we have an active Discord community. Links to all these platforms is in the description. Following the release of patch 12.6, Battlestate Games continues to tweak the Escape from Tarkov experience. Towards the end of June, beginning of July, one of the changes that was made was the prices for vendors, what it'll cost to buy items from the vendors, as well as what they'll buy, or more importantly, what they'll pay for what they'll buy. Previously, when you were using vendors, there was a bit of a special order you would use when you were selling items to the vendors. If you were selling items, you would start with Therapist and sell her everything that you could. Then you would move to Skier. And then whatever Skier and Therapist wouldn't buy, you would sell to Mechanic. And then anything after that, you would try either Jaeger for melee weapons and Prapor for grenades. Following the changes, this now has changed, and Skier is actually your least profitable vendor to sell to. Also, the actual prices of several items have been reduced, so some items aren't nearly as profitable as they used to be. An example is Fuel Conditioner. It used to be, I think, close to 90k. It is now, I think, closer to 40k. But still good money if you are out there collecting fuel conditioners to sell either on the flea market or to the vendor. So let's take a quick look at what this means price-wise. So I have here a collection of items. I'll talk about these items here in a bit, but let's just talk about in general what I've got. I've got a collection of barter items. I have a flash drive. I've got a cotton beanie. I have some weapon attachments. I have armor and armored rigs, helmets, and headphones, and then a couple of melee weapons. If we do what we typically would do, and I'm ignoring the barter items for a minute because typically Skier wouldn't buy barter items, but if we went to Skier and we sold the items that we typically would sell to him, so we would try selling the attachments, for example, weapon attachments. I'm ignoring the armor for now. I'll use that as a different example. You would see that Skier was now going to pay me 60k for those 3 weapon attachments. If I go to Mechanic and I sell those exact 3 items, it is 68. And that's almost a 10%, actually I think it's closer to 15% increase over Skier. So Mechanic is definitely the place to start for weapon attachments and weapons, at least anything you're not going to sell on the flea market. Let's take a look now at clothing. So Skier typically would buy clothing, rigs, armor, etc. So if I sell these 4 items to Skier, it's 221k of cost to Skier for an armored rig, armor, etc. If I go to Ragman and I sell the exact same items, it's 280, which is a significant increase over the 221 that Skier was given. So now you really want to make sure that you're selling to Ragman anything that's clothing related. All right. You'll also see that he'll buy the cotton beanie at 14, almost 15k, whereas I don't think Skier. Yeah, he also doesn't give it. He doesn't give a good price for that either. So you also notice some barter items now showing up for Skier. So gold chain, the roller, but I still don't recommend, and the Bitcoin. All of these though are lower than Therapist. So if I look at these 3 items, and just for sake of math, I throw them in. Here, I'll throw in the silver badge as well, because that's available. Oh, let's just throw everything in that he'll buy. So he'll pick up all those items at 241,000. Now I got to remember which items they were. That was a bad idea. Here, let's just stick to the 3 items, 2 items, the roller and the Bitcoin. So that's almost 130k. Did I read that right? Here. Yeah, 130k. Then if I go to Therapist and I sell the exact same 2 items, roller and a Bitcoin, it's 160K. So 30K increase, significant again. So Skier, I wouldn't sell to him unless you're trying to level him up to level 4. That is the only time at this point that I would sell to Skier. Now, a couple other things. So if we take a look at the melee weapons. So Jaeger for the melee weapons. If I sell these 2 melee weapons, it's almost 67K. I think Mechanic won't buy them. Will Skier buy them? No. I think Peacekeeper won't either. Yeah, I think it's just Jaeger for the melee weapons. I don't think that's a change, to be honest. I do want, though, to talk about flash drives. So if you're in a raid and you come out with a flash drive, but you got killed, so it's not available for selling on the market, right now, the best place to sell that is Peacekeeper. Now, he's going to pay dollars. So if I go to Peacekeeper, he's going to pay $448, which is close to, I want to say 50K rubles. If you could convert the dollars back into rubles. Yeah, you can't. I haven't found a way to do that. But it's still good money because you definitely need to spend money with Peacekeeper. And also, some of the attachments that you need for guns are only available at Peacekeeper with US dollars. So if you get a flash drive and you pull it out of a raid, but you've lost the flag and you don't need it for a task, then or your hideout, then that would be my suggestion. Sell it to Peacekeeper. Okay, I want to talk now about this collection of gear that I have here. So many of you know that I run the interchange caches for money. I'm currently sitting at close to 166 million rubles running caches. But, you die on those runs. Those are not guaranteed money runs. I probably die, 1 out of 3 runs. And so you want to make sure that you're putting the most valuable items in your secure. And with all of the vendor changes, it may be difficult for you to know off the bat what are the most valuable items for you to put in your secure. And so I have gone through and pulled my personal selection of items. We just go here into selling, the Therapist. I really don't need to do sell because the price will come up anyway, but you can see that each one of these items has a sell price that's at least 10K per slot. So the working LCD is 23K. The signature blend English tea is over 10K, etc. The items that are really profitable at this point are the Cyclone accumulator battery, because that's at 25K a slot. And then next up would be also the dry fuel. Now, this got recently buffed. This used to be selling for 1K. And so putting it in your secure was not very profitable. All right, you might as well just leave it for the guy who kills you, because unless you're doing it for spite, taking it out of your raid in your secure was not going to make you a lot of money. But they recently buffed it, and so now it's sitting at 25K, very worth it. There are other higher price items like the gold chain, the silver badge, the chain with the pro kill medallion. These are very rare though in your drops, and so while obviously I think people would naturally know to stick them there, they are not what I would consider, your run-of-the-mill going to get a lot. What you are going to get a lot of are dry fuel, bones, condensed milk, dry fuel conditioner, which is not as good of a deal. You can see it sells for 36K, not 40. Obviously, Bitcoins are a no-brainer. Obviously, if you pull a Tetris, that's a no-brainer as well. You should stick that in your secure. But what may not be a no-brainer to you is a power bank. It's very good money. The green battery, lithium battery, is very good money. The tube of epoxy RAM cold welding is also a very good deal. And the silicon tubes, which often get overlooked in Ollie, are very good for money for selling to a vendor. So keep that in mind, that as you're running those caches, you should be selling those items. There's one final thing that I wanted to highlight, and that is that if you're trying to level Jaeger, actually, there's 2 things I want to highlight. The one thing I want to highlight is that Jaeger now buys armored rigs. I don't believe he did before, but he now does. And it's at a very small delta to what you will get from Ragman. You can see here this is 27K. I believe Ragman is 28K. Yeah, 28k, so a very small delta. So if you're looking to level Jaeger and you have some armored rigs that you're looking to sell, I would sell them to Jaeger to get up his loyalty level. That would be my recommendation, because he now buys those armored rigs. All right, the very last thing that I want to talk about is the change that was made to the flea market, where if you want to do a barter on the flea market, you have to be using found in raid items. So if I go to the flea market and I do a search for tri-zip, get rid of chlorine, thank you very much. Oh, I think it's tri-zip. Yeah. So Ragman will do the barter for 4 energy saving lamps. But because I'm doing it in the flea market, it's not letting me, even though I've got 4 lamps, it's not letting me do the barter, because in the flea market, it requires that every item have that found in raid. So the good news is this only applies to the flea market. If you go to the dealer direct and you go to the barter item, you can see here that I can buy the item. So I have bought the item. And so you're able to do this. It doesn't check for found in raid. So if you are going for Red Rebel, or you are going for a sick case, these items are very rare. Sick cases no longer drop in the game, for example. So you would need to have 10 paracord, 15 duct tape, 10 of the blue tape, 12 nails. If you are running caches and you're collecting these and you die and some of them lose the found in raid status, don't sell them to the vendor. Hold on to them. You can still use them for your barter trade. So for example, I went and picked up the materials for a Reaper scope. You will notice that only some of my items have the found in raid status. 2 of the radiator helixes and 7 of the drain cleaners. Everything else I just bought off the flea market. But I can still do this deal. And there I have a brand new Reaper scope. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. That's it for this video. I do appreciate you staying to the end. If you found this content helpful, I would appreciate a like. It helps generate more views of the video. Helps get the word out to other people who may not have noticed the change to the vendors. Also, if you have any comments about other things that you found with the vendors, maybe some other little tips or tricks, some niche sells that perhaps are really profitable now to a different vendor than what I just outlined, please leave it in the comments. And if you'd like to be notified when I post future videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching.